Welcome back, grade 6 and 7 word detectives. If you're ready to absolutely dominate your next spelling bee, you're in the right place. We're heading straight back into our mental memory palace, Professor Panda's calendar library, to be exact. I'm so pumped for this explainer because today we're unlocking part 2 of our Latin root masterclass. We're going to zero in on the absolute essential vocabulary words that use the roots ANN and ENN. All right, let's dive right in and uncover some serious spelling bee secrets.
Now, before we really get going, let's do a quick memory refresh. You might remember our golden rule from part 1 of this explainer series. The Latin roots ANN and ENN both mean year. Literally, that's it. That means every single word we decode today connects back to years, yearly events, or just long periods of time. So whenever you hear a word with these roots, I want you to ask yourself our golden question. What does this word have to do with years? Just keep that question locked right in your mind.
Okay, let's bring up our first memory anchor, the birthday bear. Think about why he's celebrating. It's because something annual happens exactly once every year, just like a birthday. So here's the crucial breakdown. ANN means year, and the suffix UAL means relating to. Stick them together and it literally translates to yearly. But wait, word detectives, listen closely. ANNUL. You've got to watch out for that double N. Seriously, one of the most common mistakes students make is spelling annual with just one N. Do not let that trap catch you.
Now, what's kind of cool is how we can take our adjective annual and instantly turn it into an adverb. Enter River Otter, who proudly publishes his newspaper annually, meaning he does it every single year. To spell this one, you just take the word annual and add ly. But here is your massive spelling bee warning. Do not drop that second N from annual when you add the ly. You have to keep the double N from the root, plus the UAL, and then, and only then, tack on the ly.
This next one brilliantly illustrates how Latin roots literally tell a story. Imagine beautiful swans returning to a heart-shaped calendar. They're celebrating an anniversary, which is the yearly return of an important date. If we put our detective hats back on and break this down, ANN means year, and VERS means turn. So an anniversary literally translates to the turning of a year. When a year turns all the way around again to that special date, boom, you have an anniversary. And just like with annual, make absolutely sure you double down on that double N.
Next up, let's talk about Banker Squirrel receiving a shiny gold coin. That coin represents an annuity. An annuity is simply money paid every single year. Now, I want you to listen really closely to the pronunciation. Annuity. Notice how it sounds completely different from annual. It sounds like it starts with anew. But think about the meaning. Because it's a yearly payment, it still proudly wears our ANN root. Knowing the meaning behind it literally saves you from spelling it phonetically and getting buzzed right out of the competition.
Okay, let's bounce over to a totally different event with our kangaroo athlete. He competes in something that is biennial. Now we're finally seeing the ENN version of our root. The prefix BI means to, ENN means year, and IAL means relating to. So a biennial event occurs every 2 years. Listen to how it sounds. Biennial. When you hear that EN sound right in the middle, you absolutely must remember the double N chunk in the ENN root. BIENNIAL.
Whoa, stop right there. We've got sirens flashing for a major alert. This right here is one of the biggest traps in spelling bees and reading comprehension alike. On one hand, we have our kangaroo's biennial event, which happens once every 2 years. But on the other hand, we have the raccoon's biannual event, which happens twice in a single year. I know, they sound incredibly similar, but they mean completely different things. You absolutely have to know which one the pronouncer is asking for.
Let's just focus on our busy raccoon for a second. He publishes his newspaper biannually, meaning twice each year. Notice the breakdown here. It's BI, meaning to, attached directly to the word annual, pronounced biannual. Judges absolutely love to test biannual and biennial together just to see if you're actually paying attention to both the spelling and the definition. Remember, biannual uses ANN, while biannual uses ENN. Don't mix them up.
Now, what if I told you there's another word that means almost the exact same thing as biannual? Enter the red panda scientist. She releases her reports semi-annually. The prefix SEMI means half. So a semi-annual event happens every half year, which effectively means it happens twice a year. Honestly, semiannual and biannual are practical twins in meaning. So why do we have two words for the exact same thing? Well, because the English language just loves to keep spellers on their toes.
Let's zoom out a bit and see how this builds across the timeline. We just mastered BI for 2 years, but the Latin language gives us a whole set of number prefixes that basically multiply our root word. We have TRI for 3, QUADRI for 4, and QINQUE for 5. Once you lock these specific number prefixes into your brain, you can attach them to our ENN root to create massive, super impressive spelling bee words. Let's see them in action.
Blast off! Imagine a giraffe launching a rocket that is triennial. TRI means 3 plus ENN for year gives us an event occurring every 3 years. Just like a triangle has 3 sides, a triennial event has a strict 3-year cycle. And hey, what's our golden spelling rule here? That's right, TRI perfectly locks into that double N in our ENN root, triennial.
Next up, picture a lion majestically carrying a torch for an event that is quadrennial. This one is a massive favorite in advanced spelling bees. Think of the Olympic Games. They're a classic quadrennial event because they happen every 4 years. QUADRI means 4, plus our trusty double N year root, quadrennial. Say it out loud to yourself right now and visualize that double N.
Okay, detectives, it's challenge time. I'm pausing this explainer right here. Put down your pencils and focus up for a second. Can you decode this terrifyingly long word, QUINQUNNIAL? Here's your clue. Quinc means 5, and you already know NN means year. So, what does the word mean? Just think about it for a second.
Boom! You cracked the code. If a parrot is counting to 5 on a calendar, it's because quinquennial simply means occurring every 5 years. Pronounced quin, quen, enial. Now, this word looks incredibly scary on a spelling test, with all those Q's and U's and double N's just everywhere. But it brilliantly illustrates that when you chunk the word into its roots, quinc plus ennial, it completely cures the spelling panic. You aren't memorizing random letters anymore. You're literally just building with blocks.
Let's jump ahead in time now to a wise elephant mayor celebrating a whole DECA decade in office. That brings us to decennial, meaning every 10 years. You already know the word decade means 10 years, and it uses the exact same DEC prefix. So, DEC meaning 10 plus ENN for year equals decennial. The national census, for example, is usually conducted on a decennial schedule.
Now, who wants a slice of cake with our peacock historian? Imagine 100 candles on that cake. We'd be celebrating a centennial, which is a 100th anniversary. The prefix CENT means 100. You totally know this from words like century or even a cent in a dollar. Attach cent to our NN root and you get a 100-year celebration, centennial.
So the really crucial point here is that we can actually stack these prefixes to do math. Picture a massive 200-year parade. This is a bicentennial. Let's just do the math together. BI means 2, CENT means 100. 2 times 100 equals 200. Simple as that. A bicentennial is a 200th anniversary. Isn't it wild how logical the English language becomes once you actually know the Latin code? Let's step away from the math for a moment and calmly observe a gardener bee tending to her roses. Roses are commonly known as perennial plants. PER is a prefix meaning through, and ENN means year. So perennial literally translates to through the years. Something that is perennial lasts for many years or returns year after year without needing to be replanted. Through the years. It's a really beautiful word, but please remember that double N.
And just like we did earlier with annual and annually, we can easily turn our adjective perennial into an adverb. Let's cheer on a hedgehog coach who is perennially successful, meaning his team wins year after year. To spell perennially, we just take the base word PERENNIAL and simply add LY. Do not let the extra syllables trick you into dropping any letters.
All right, brace yourselves, detectives. We've got another major alert. And honestly, this is perhaps the biggest spelling trap of them all. We are looking at millennium versus millennial. One is a period of 1,000 years, and the other relates to an era or a generation. I know they sound super similar, but you have to look closely at the endings. Millennium ends in UM. Millennial ends in AL. Let's really dive into the details here. Think of a time-traveling whale, gliding through 1,000 glowing pages of history. A millennium is exactly 1,000 years. The prefix MILL means thousand, joined by ANN for year,
and the noun ending ium. Now, flashing spelling warning here, folks. Notice the spelling very carefully. Millennnium. That's a double L and a double N. Literally thousands of students get eliminated by missing just one of those double letters.
And wrapping up our individual words, we have the term millennial. This word describes things related to a millennium or, a specific generation that grew up around the year 2000. It still has the double L and the double N, but it ends with IAL because it's an adjective relating to an era. Different ending, entirely different word. Just look at this. We've conquered so much today. Take a second to mentally scan this whole list. We nailed annual and anniversary. We safely separated those tricky twins, biennial and biannual. We multiplied our years with triennial, quadrennial, and the massive quinquennial. We celebrated 100 years with centennial, stretched through time with perennial, and absolutely mastered the dreaded double letters in millennium. Every single word here is a spelling bee heavyweight.
So, what's your ultimate takeaway from today's explainer? The code ANN and ENN equals year. When you memorize this root, you aren't just memorizing one spelling word, you're discovering the hidden scaffolding of the entire English language. You're actually learning to think like a champion speller. So the next time you hear a massive, scary word, ask yourself, what secret roots are hiding inside it just waiting to be decoded? Keep decoding, and I'll see you at the Spelling Bee for Part 3.